Previously on the Embracing the Journey podcast.
Girls would just come up just right in front of me in the bar, and I'd be like, excuse me.
Really?
I took off my shoe and told her that I would, and I got carried out.
Has it been worth marrying an individual that is sought after by whomever can get their hands on him?
There was a play, and he fell to the ground, and he did not get up.
Welcome back to Embracing the Journey podcast. We're here with Jessica Trufant, and it's getting deep.
The doctor calls me and tells me that I can talk to him, but very shortly. And he actually had to stay in Chicago and stay in the hospital. And and then he came home, and we still joke about this now. He was under an alias, and it was Dominique. So I still call him Dominique from time to time.
My alias is Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Right.
So the alias was Dominique. He's
right.
He's in the hospital.
Right. And but yeah, that was very, very, very scary to have to, I don't know, and you can replay it all the time because it's just, it's in the archives. It's everywhere, right?
So what does that do for you? Did that make the relationship stronger? Like when he got home, were you like, I'm glad you're back, like in one piece? Absolutely. Or are you kind of like in your mind, like, this needs to stop? Like we got a family to worry about at this point.
No, because once I talked to him and I knew he was okay, and I mean, he had minor concussions all the time, but I've never seen him actually knocked out. And so since it happened once, I'm not going to, normally I go in the gutter, but no, I was okay with it. And so when he came home, I was so happy to see him and hug him. And then it was take these kids.
Yeah, I got to go work out.
Back to normal.
Right.
Yeah.
So because I'm trying to understand like girl math versus guy math, right? A guy saying like, no, it's okay. What did the woman actually hear when Marcus is like, yeah, I'm concussed. I got knocked out on national television. I was unconscious for 2 commercial breaks.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. What did you actually hear?
From him, when he says that, what do I hear?
Mm-hmm.
I hear him just talking, right? I hear him just, when people ask him about it or whatever, it's just kind of like an automated response.
Right.
But I know the real, and I know how scary it was for him. And so I hear this was intense. This was serious. I just wanted to get back home to my kids, my wife, all that kind of. That's what I heard.
Right.
I want to get home to my wife because I love her so much.
That's what I was gonna go with it. Yeah. Makes all the sense.
That's totally what I heard.
And then how did your world change? Did people that either you had cut ties with a long time ago start coming back in the picture? Do people like ask you for things like what was that like? How did you know how to vet out like an authentic person that cared about Jess and not what Jess is all encompassing?
Okay.
Because I'm imagining as the wife, you're like the gatekeeper. Like once they get to your place, your house, like that's, hey.
Right.
So walk me through that.
Well, I would like to say I was always like popular.
Yeah.
But I became very popular when when I married Marcus. And I don't know, I have friends, but I also have a lot of people that I was hanging around with through working out or this or that who weren't necessarily my friends, but I kind of like to bring everybody together and have everybody hang out. But for my core friends, they were kind of like, who are these people? Why are they allowed to be in your space? All of that kind of stuff. However, I know the deal.
Right.
I only do and allow what I want. I can sniff out the opportunist, and I get to make a choice whether or not I want to deal with him or not. And so, yes, there were people, and also I'm kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say I'm the gay. Nope, I wouldn't say that. But yes, people definitely came and approached me. And of course, people ask for things, and it was asking me, of course, for things of Marcus or requests for Marcus. And it's kind of like, you can ask him yourself.
Right.
I am not his agent. I am not his secretary. I'm not any of that. You want something, you go ask him yourself. And that kind of, I think it kind of might have deterred some people from asking, but people have asked me for things too.
Right. Does it still happen?
Well, I'm older now.
Well, what does that mean?
So I know better. And Marcus has taught me a lot. Marcus is not playing when it comes to, and that's why it's almost better for people to ask him, because he'll just be like, no.
Yeah. So kind of like how your life has changed. Like, has it made you jaded towards certain types of people? Or like, you said you're able to sniff out an opportunist from a mile away now. Like, how does that vetting process work? And is it lonely? I've never heard it from a woman perspective. I know what it's like from a male perspective. I don't know what it's like from a woman perspective.
Was I lonely while he was playing?
Yeah, I mean, in relationships that I've been in, it seems like although you are a part of an individual's life, you're trying to figure out the life that you also like and the things that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And every person that you may encounter may come to you and be like, yeah, you're great. Like, oh, I didn't realize that you're married to Marcus Trufant. Like, I didn't put two and two together. Would you like to donate some tickets to, our after school program? Like things like that. Does that make it feel like you're on an island by yourself, like isolated?
I don't necessarily feel like I am isolated when people are like, oh, I just put two and two together to make four, and four is him. Right. I don't necessarily feel lonely. I do feel annoyed, and sometimes I just feel like, like you said, or like I was saying, it's opportunistic. It's an opportunity, and don't do that to me. Don't put me on the spot like that. Don't make me uncomfortable. So yeah, it's not, I don't feel lonely, but I do see what you're saying about trying to, find your way and find yourself. And I think I have been able to do that. I've always been true to myself. And I know a lot of women, not a lot, I don't want to say a lot, but some women have said they have lost themselves.
Right.
Because of, the status and all of that kind of stuff and the accolades and all the attention that their husband receives. But I never felt that way.
Right.
I didn't. Maybe because I was knee deep and having baby after baby after baby.
Right.
But I never felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Different.
Strange.
Offbeat.
Visionary.
Genius.
Amazing.
What makes you different makes you great.
Embrace your punch.
Welcome back to Embracing the Journey podcast. We're here with Jessica Trufant. I want to know what family means to you, encompassing that word. Make of it what you want, but what does that mean to you?
Well, in the past, I would probably say family is, the mom, the dad, the two kids, the support system, like the nuclear family, all of that kind of stuff. But my view has changed. family is whatever you make of it.
Right.
It's whoever that you are connected with, that supports you, that loves you, that cares for you, that treats you with respect. That is my idea of what a family is. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the mom, the dad, the two kids, the grandma, all that kind of stuff. It just looks different for everybody. But for me, family is love. It's unconditional love. It's support. It is teaching and listening and just being together and sharing moments together and memories and all of that kind of stuff. I think that's my idea of family.
Right. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Were you brought up in a nuclear family?
Yes.
Mom, dad?
Yes.
Were they like supportive of all the things that you did?
No.
So with that knowledge and knowing how that made you feel growing up, how does that play a role in the way that you parent?
I'm a sucker. That's what plays a role.
What do you mean by that for those who may not know what that word means?
I'm a pushover. I don't know. My kids, I bend for them probably a little too much, but he does too. Marcus does too. Seriously. If I won't bend, he'll bend. And if he won't bend, I'll bend. But because of my upbringing, I am very, I just want to make sure that my kids feel absolutely supported. And not saying it's specific things that I wasn't supported in, like the things that I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just support them and let them be who they are. We're not trying to force them to be somebody or punish them for being themselves, right? And so that is what I do. And I probably do a little too much for them and overcompensate for what I was lacking as a kid. But they seem to be happy.
Yeah. So what I have been told is once you're married and you start having kids,
Mm-hmm.
like how does your marriage change from that aspect? Does it go like the kids first, or does it go husband first or wife first? How does that look like in your place?
Norris.
I know.
Well,
Told you we're getting deep.
if you're being politically correct, it goes God,
Right.
your husband, your wife, your kids, and then everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you have kids, things do change. Some marriages don't survive having kids because of the change. And maybe for a husband, possibly, the lack of attention they might receive once you have a kid. But for me personally, my job was was to take care of my kids. And Marcus is always there, right? But he's on the back burner. I'll get to you. But I have to take care of these kids first. And so it can kind of seem as if he is not a priority, but he's always a priority. But the kids, they suck all the life out of you. They make themselves the priority, whether you want them to be or not.
Not to pry.
You are.
Has there been times where the marriage has been so shaky that you're like, I don't know if I can do this?
Next week on the Embracing the Journey podcast.
Has there been times where the marriage has been so shaky that you're like, I don't know if I can do this?
It's a want to be together, and it's a want to work through any obstacles. We can fight and be mad at each other, but we still love each other, and we make up and we move on. At my daughter's school, I'll never forget, her friend said that I was scary because I was too shiny.